Hey, what is up, everyone? The LDB is back at it again, coming at you today with my Lady Death Max Crit build for PvP in TU8. Now, I did tell you on the last video that I would be doing a Striker DPS build next, since we did cover the survivability aspect last time. If you haven't seen that video, I will have a link for it in the description, so definitely check that one out. But since then, I've been hearing a lot of people having so much trouble with Striker stacks not stacking, so I decided to hold off on that build till a later date. But I did bring you something just as good, if not better, in place of it today. Now, this build has some insane damage output, and the average time to kill being about like a second or two in PvP. In Conflict or DZ, this thing has been a beast, and I hope all of you DPSers out there enjoy or find this video helpful. And if you do, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel, and feel free to drop a comment down there below. So, let's get into this. Alright everyone, so first things first, I'm going to be using the Demolitionist specialization for this build simply because, well, obviously we get that grenade launcher that makes a big boom and can down players one shot most of the time, right? That's awesome to have in PvP, but also on this tree right here, there's a handful of talents that I feel are very strong in PvP. I'm going to skim over them very quickly so that we can get on to the good stuff. Now, the first one I want to talk about right here, Explosive Ordnance, 10% increased explosive damage, affects explosive grenades, skills, and effects. So, that way, if I throw a grenade at someone, if I use Seekers and I don't have any skill tiers, which I have been doing, I'm going to be hitting them that much harder. It's not a whole lot, just 10%, but hey, if I can just stagger them that much more, if I can make them bleed that much more, and then push them, hey, it's been working out really nice for me lately. Don't overlook this one. Now, other than that, I really like Incombustible. Increase burn resistance by 20%, and everybody knows that status effects are a huge thing nowadays. Overwhelming most of the time, and fire is probably the worst one for me because it renders you useless, right? You are hip firing, you can't aim, you're just kind of you're not doing shit, right? This is going to help you out at least that 20% extra. If you can spec any hazard protection as well, it's going to push it even farther. Don't overlook this one as well. Now, as far as the armor kits go, we get 100% armor back, so that's a good thing right there. There's no time waiting or anything like that. And it also boosts weapon handling 30% for 15 seconds. Now, you might not think that's a big thing, but on an SMG that does not have very good range and kind of bounces around a little bit, this definitely will help you out a lot. So don't overlook this one as well. And finally, the one that I really love, Brace for Impact. Ignore explosions. Can only trigger once every 60 seconds. But the point being is I can take a grenade in the face. It doesn't bother me. Seeker grenade, first time you can walk away from it. After that, you're a sitting duck, so watch out. But for the first time, at least, this will definitely put them on cooldown. You can push them a lot easier, and it's been working out really nice for me. So other than that, let's get on to the build itself. Alright everyone, and here it is. As you can see up top, that grenade launcher I was talking about hitting for 2.5 million. I don't know anybody that could take that and walk away even on a good day. So if you can use this in PvP, definitely do so. Now as far as the core attributes go, we have 5 reds, 1 blue, and 0 yellow. And our minor attributes, we have 11 reds, 4 blue, and 0 yellow as well. Sorry, we do not have any skill tiers on this build. We are going more or less just raw damage, if you couldn't tell already, just raw DPS as much as possible. Our armor, we're sitting at 845. That's not too bad. It could be better, but I know at the same time a lot of people are still running 600,000-700,000 armor in Conflict, and to me, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. I can't do it. I feel squishy as hell as is. But again, it's just that playstyle. Get them down before they can get you down, right? That's what I'm going for. Our health, 272,000. So after our armor is gone, we have a little bit to back us up. But again, nothing too crazy. And that's about that. Let's get on to these weapons. Alright everyone, and here it is, the Lady Death Exotic Submachine Gun. This is my primary weapon, and I frickin' love it. I really hope that they do not nerf this gun, because it's like you finally find something that really works for you, and then they're gonna switch it up. It's like, what's that saying, all good things don't last, or something, all good. You know what I'm talking about. But regardless, this thing is absolutely a beast. And I know a lot of people are having trouble finding this weapon. The way you acquire it is by farming open world bosses in NYC. And my advice to you is farm the same boss like clockwork. The same location. Every half hour they respawn, go back to that same location. And like I said, like clockwork. Just keep going back, knocking them down. Eventually, one of these will drop for you. I got mine, I believe, on my 8th try. A friend of mine that I was farming with got his, I believe, on his 6th try. And he actually gave his to me because he's a good dude. Appreciate you, buddy. You know who you are. He was actually pretty persistent about me taking it from him. Crazy stuff. But regardless, I got another one that with better rolls just a little bit later. So these things are dropping. You just got to kind of put the time in. And like I said, like clockwork, just keep going back to that same boss. And even on normal, these will drop. I think I got mine on normal, actually, just because I just want to do it as easy as possible. So keep that in the back of your head. Go out there, put the time in, and it will definitely be worth it. Now, I want to just read the quote on this weapon. It says, "Can't take your freedom? That's a lie. Your freedom can always be taken. The only thing standing between you and tyranny is the barrel of your gun. Second Amendment enthusiast." And to that, I just had to kind of, give it a little, hey, it is what it is, guys, right? The base damage on this weapon, we're talking 75.1k per bullet, and I'd have to say that's pretty low, but the RPM, 900 with 32 in the mag. And I think that magazine size is what really kind of deters people from trying to go and get this weapon, because they're like, 32 rounds, what am I going to do with that? Let me tell you. I'll put it to you this way. In conflict, the vast majority of the time, when I put down someone, I have ammo left over. That's how strong this weapon is. I'm telling you, this thing is OP. Again, I hope they don't nerf it. Now, as far as the attributes go, I got super lucky. We got 15% SMG damage. That's maxed out. We have 16% crit hit chance and 5% damage to armor. I mean, I really couldn't ask for much more unless the crit chance and damage to armor were higher as well. I mean, other than that, this thing is amazing. Now, as far as the talent goes, this is what really, really makes it. Breathe free. When moving, gain 4 stacks per second or 8 stacks if sprinting, up to 40 stacks total. Okay, so all you have to do is be moving to be gaining stacks, whether you're in cover or if you're just running straight directly into a wall, not even moving. As long as the game thinks that you're moving, you're going to be building up stacks. I mean, this is amazing. And when each round fired consumes a stack, amplifying damage by 60%, things get nasty real quick. Real quick. Kills grant plus 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. And that last part is amazing too, because say it's a 2v1 and you take down somebody, you get that 20% movement speed, you can duck, dodge, roll, whatever you want to do real fast, get away from them, turn around, start tanking them again if you want, and do your thing. Just keep on plowing through them. And the thing is, like this weapon, they don't even see it coming. It's so strong. By the time they realize what's happening, their face is in the dirt. It's so strong, it's ridiculous. And that movement speed definitely will help you out a lot. Now, as far as the mods go on this weapon, we have an optic that gives us 5% crit chance, a muzzle that gives us 5% crit chance, the underbarrel gives us 5 crit damage, and the magazine here gives us 10% reload speed. So it's a crit machine, so I put it on a crit build, and this thing has been ripping. So let's go on to the secondary. Sorry that I took so much time talking about the Lady Death. I'm just so overwhelmed by how amazing that gun is. It's just, I wanted to really emphasize that to you guys. My secondary here, CMMG Banshee. I really love this weapon too. It's got a little bit more base damage, 94.1 compared to the 75.1, obviously. Same RPM and a bigger mag. We have similar attributes, but this thing doesn't do anywhere near as good a work as that Lady Death. I'll just put it that way. 10 SMG damage, max crit chance on there, 10.9 accuracy, so we're landing those shots pretty easily. We have the Talent Ranger on there, amplify weapon damage 2% for every 5 meters you are away from the target. So even if I'm 10, 15 meters away, I'm still getting a little bit of extra weapon damage up on top of everything else that we're doing on top, right? So you got to keep that in the back of your head. Now, as far as the mods go on this weapon, I have the optic that gives us the 5% crit damage. We have the extended magazine, 20 rounds. We have the laser pointer, 5 crit chance, and we have the suppressor with another 5 chance. So pretty straightforward on that weapon there. I mean, I haven't really used this a whole lot. I basically just pulled this out if I do run out of ammo with my primary, and just keep on dumping, right? And if you want, you can always swap over to the backup boomstick if you run out on your primary. This thing is a piece of work right here. 1.2 million per bullet. We have everything maxed out. 16 shotgun damage, 12 damage to armor, 10 damage to targets out of cover. So if I think about it, because I really don't always think about it, use your sidearm, right? I mean, it's not even like a big thing for me. But if I do and it clicks for a half a second, pull this thing out, boom, boom, your face is in the ground, I'm telling you. You're going down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts if I land the shots. I mean, it is what it is. As far as the talent goes, I have Preservation on here. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Headshot kills improve the repair by an additional 10%. So on a build that's a little bit squishy, again, if I think about it and I pull this out and use it, it definitely can be beneficial for sure. So other than that, let's get on to these gear pieces. Alright everyone, so let's start out with the mask here. It is Sokolov. We get that 10% SMG damage just for wearing it. The core attribute is maxed out, 15% weapon damage. We also have some hazard protection crit chance on there with a crit damage mod. And I want you to take note that on the mask, the chest, and the backpack, the mods are all crit hit damage. And that is because with the gear pieces that I've used and the weapon that I'm using, we can max out the crit hit chance very easy and dump the rest into the crit hit damage so you're hitting as hard as possible. And if you can break that 100 crit hit damage mark, then you're doing pretty good. And I did so on this build, and we'll see that there on the stat sheet in just a little bit. So moving on to the chest piece here, it is Providence. We have the 3-piece active giving me the plus 10% headshot damage, 10 crit hit chance, and 15 crit hit damage. We have 14.9 weapon damage on there. It's 0.1 away from being max. You know, like, come on. We have 3.6 crit hit chance, a little bit of armor regen on there, and again, 10.1% crit hit damage for the mod. With the talent Obliterate, crit hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds. Stacks up to 15 times. And, you know, hey, it's a crit build. It just made sense. Put Obliterate on there. And you know what? I have not been mad about it at all, because it's essentially another 15% weapon damage, right? And the crits that we are spitting out of our weapon so fast, we're going to have this rocking and rolling maxed out the whole time. It is what it is. So definitely don't overlook Obliterate. Now, as far as the holster goes, it is Grupo Sombra. We get that 15% crit hit damage just for wearing it. We have 167,000 armor roll. It's almost max. It's the highest armor roll I have for the holster. I have not gotten a max roll yet. They like to play with me with this 167 stuff. But we also have some armor regen and some hazard protection. Basically, I picked one piece and put all blues on there. That was basically what I was going for, just to get the armor up a little bit more, you know, for sustainability, and it's been working out awesome. As well as that extra 15 crit hit damage, again, just for wearing it. Gotta love that. Now, as far as the knee pads, they are also Providence. We have 14.3 weapon damage, 11.7 crit hit damage, and 5.7 crit chance. So again, pretty straightforward. Weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage. I mean, it is what it is, guys. Now, as far as these gloves go, I don't even know how to say this. Seska Viroba, I guess something along those lines. I don't know. We get 10% crit chance for wearing them. We have max 15% weapon damage rolled on there. We have some headshot damage as well as some weapon handling. That really does come in handy. And pretty straightforward on that. Again, just for wearing it, you get that 10% crit chance and a bunch of reds on there. I'm loving it. Now, the backpack here is also Providence. We have a max weapon damage roll, 15%. We have some weapon handling, some crit chance, and again, a mod with 10.6 crit hit damage. And I threw on Composure, the backpack here. You could really put whatever you want. You could put, you know, Unstoppable Force. You could go with Bloodsucker, whatever you want. I just like this because while in cover, increases total weapon damage by 15%. On top of everything else that I just explained to you. You get into cover and immediately 15% weapon damage up. And again, if you can kind of creep up on someone, get to cover, and they don't, you know, see you right there, and they're going to run around the corner, and you just dump on them, before they know what's happening, they're gone.
Dead agent. Assistant.
I'm telling you right now, don't overlook Composure. I know a lot of people don't like it because you have to be in cover, and in PvP that's not always the best thing, but I'm telling you, if you catch someone slipping, this will just dump them like nothing. Now, as far as these skills go, I am simply using a Defender drone just to try to block some of the shots. It has a health of 1.1 million. It doesn't last very long, only 20 seconds, but the cooldown's only 19. So it is what it is. The damage reduction is 20%. In PvP, it's only 10%. So it is what it is. That extra 10%, less incoming damage can be a lot, though, when you're adding up, some of these DPS builds that are just dumping on people, right? So that extra 10% can actually turn into a pretty big number. Now, as far as my other skill, I've been going back and forth between clusters, between the explosive seekers, the bleed hive, just something to basically throw them off for a little bit, kind of deter them, make them focus on something else for a split second, because that's all it takes with this weapon. So just something to kind of like, distract them for a second. It just makes it that much easier, right? That much easier. So all in all, that is the build, guys. Let's do a quick little recap here on the stat sheet. Alright everyone, that is still with me. Let's just do a quick little recap breakdown here on the stat sheet. Again, the weapon talents that I'm going with: Breathe Free, coming off of the Lady Death. We have Ranger on my secondary, Preservation on my sidearm. We also have some high explosive grenades to play with. Hey, gotta love those there. Now, as far as the weapon damage goes, we're talking 75,000 per bullet. In PvP, that gets knocked down to 41,000. But that's not really a big concern for me because I'm still doing well over 100,000 per crit. I mean, it is what it is. And that is because we have 60% crit hit chance. As you can see on the right there, it says cap 60%. Ooh, gotta love that. And it gets even better. The crit hit damage, 104.4%. Basically meaning when that crit lands, it's going to be hitting for 104% on top of your base damage, right? So you're hitting like a truck. And if you hit them in the face with 67.3% headshot damage on top of everything else that I just said, it's just going to add it that much more. Oh boy, it gets nasty real quick. We have some armor damage on there. The range is not the best, only 16 meters, but I think you can reach out a little bit farther than that. And also, even if you only land a couple shots, you're still going to start taking their armor bar off. You'll start seeing it go down real fast with this, even if you just land a few shots from a distance. So keep that in the back of your head. Now, a reload time, 1.8 seconds. Gotta love that. And that's because we have 16.2% reload speed bonus going on. And, hey, I'm loving that right there. I can't even, I can't even be mad about that. That is a great thing to spec into right there. And we have a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of stability, a little bit of weapon swap speed, just in case I do need to. Hey, I can do it that much faster. Weapon handling, 24%. 0.8% ammo capacity. Oh boy, that's just coming off Keener's watch, so no big deal. Now, as far as offense goes, we're talking 75.8% all weapon damage bonus. And we also have 40% submachine gun damage bonus. Equals nasty. It gets real. It's bad. It's bad for them. It's a bad day. Have a little bit of explosive damage going on. As far as the talents go, we have Composure and Obliterate. Now, as far as the brand sets that comprise this build, we're talking Sokolov, 3-piece Providence, 1-piece Seska, 1-piece Grupo Sombra. If you put those all together, you're going to get a whole bunch of headshot, crit chance, crit damage, SMG damage, some more crit chance, some more crit damage. It stacks beautifully. Definitely try this out. Now, as far as defense goes, we're talking 845,000 armor. We have a little bit of armor regen. Our max health, 271,000. A little bit of health regen, nothing too crazy. 50% pulse resistance. We do have some hazard protection going on, which is definitely going to help us out a lot, especially with that burn. Like I said, watch out for that burn. That's a nasty one right there. Now, moving down, other than that, we already kind of talked about these skills, so that is essentially it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the build, took something away from it, and I'll catch you on the next one. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my Lady Death Max Crit PvP build for TU8. This build has been super fun lately in PvP, and I hope you all try it out. I hope you all enjoy or found this video helpful, and if you did, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel, and feel free to drop a comment down there below. So until next time, guys, I hope you take it easy. I will see you then. Later.